Today we're taking a look at these college basketball matches, which are happening on Friday, March 3, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and make sure to watch it till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Also check out our Patreon if you want access our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link in description and comments section below. One more thing before we start, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link in the description and comments section below. Akron vs Kent State. The Kent State Golden Flashes are the top-ranked team in the MAC according to KenPom, have a chance to finish first in the conference with a win, and have a high-scoring senior guard playing on senior night. Kent State is the play. Teams get up for senior night at home, but a chance at getting the number 1 seat in the conference tournament is also up for grabs. Sincere Carey is Kent State's scoring guard who will go toe-to-toe with Akron's Castaneda. Kent State has won 5 of their last 6 and have not lost on their home court in conference play. Trust Kent State to get revenge for the loss to Akron earlier in the season and finish conference play with a big win. Take Kent State to win and cover at home. This will be a back-and-forth affair between two of the top teams in the MAC, with 2 high-scoring guards. Castaneda is the leading scorer in the conference and will look to go off in his last conference game for Akron. Sincere Carey will do his best to match Castaneda, as it is his senior night, and Carey also can put up big numbers. Kent State has hit the under in 2 of their last 3 games, and Akron has hit the under in their last 2. Kent State is in the top half of the nation in tempo, ranking 157th out of 363 teams. Ultimately, I believe the final conference game of the season will be a shootout that will easily go over this number. Take the over 134 points. East Carolina vs Tulane. Tulane has lost 3 straight against the spread and is 2-2 at TS in their last 4 home games. East Carolina has won 2 straight against the spread but has gone winless ATS in their previous 5 road games. Tulane's high-power defense has performed much better at home than on the road recently, so look for the Green Wave to bounce back from their subpar 68-point effort versus ACU earlier this week and control this game from the opening tip-off. Take Tulane minus 11.5 points. Tulane has gone over the point total in 2 of their last 3 games, and either they or their opponent has scored 83 or more points in 6 straight games. The Pirates have gone 3-3 versus the point total in their previous 6 games. Either they or their opponent has scored 75 or more points in 5 of the last 6 games. East Carolina and Tulane currently rank 180th and 2nd in pace of play respectively. Most signs point to a higher scoring affair this time around playing on Tulane's home court. Look for this game to go over 153 points. St. Louis Billikens vs Dayton Flyers. This is a major contrast in styles as Dayton plays at one of the slowest paces in college basketball, ranking number 345 in tempo. They are also one of the best defensive teams in the land, allowing just 60.7 points per game, which is 12th best in the country. St. Louis on the other hand averages close to 76 points per game and plays at the 71st fastest pace in the country, fueled by Collins, who leads the nation with 10.2 assists per game. When these two met a few weeks ago, Dayton controlled the tempo in an easy win. This time around, I like St. Louis to control the pace at home. Take St. Louis here to cover the spread. Our team pick is St. Louis. The Dayton Flyers come into this final game of the 2022-23 regular season with a record of 20-10 overall and 12-5 in the Atlantic 10. They are in 2nd place, 1 game ahead of Fordham and St. Louis. They are 2 games behind Virginia Commonwealth, who have clinched the conference regular season title, as well as the top seed in the A10 tournament. The St. Louis Billikens had a golden opportunity to gain ground on first-place VCU, but they fell to the Rams on the road by the score of 79-67. The loss dropped their record to 19-11 overall and 11-6 in the Atlantic 10. They are currently 3rd in the conference, 3 games behind VCU, which clinched the A10 regular season title. Our total pick is under 137.5 points. Miami O vs Buffalo. In the first meeting between these two, a key difference was at the 3-point line. Buffalo was 3 for 17.176, while Miami was 11 for 27.407. Miami was a 3-point underdog and won the game by 11. Buffalo is 7-5 against the spread at home, but Miami is 6-5 at TS on the road. Another big advantage for Miami is at the foul line, where the Redhawks shoot 78%, which entering Thursday was 11th nationally, while Buffalo shoots just 69.7%. In the earlier game, Miami was 18 for 21.857 from the foul line, while Buffalo went 23 for 38.605. Also, during its 4-game win streak, Miami is 4-0 ATS. Take Miami plus 8.5 points. The under is 3-1 in Miami's last 4 road games. The under is 3-1 in Buffalo's last 4 home games, but the other metrics suggest the over. Miami is averaging 75.5 points in its last 4 games, while Buffalo, somewhat slumping, is still averaging 71.1 points in its last 4. Buffalo gets a lot of easy points, and entering Thursday the Bulls were 9th nationally, with an average of 15.30 fast break points per game. Miami gets a little more than half that total, at 8.90 per game. So there will be easy baskets and Buffalo at home will try to play at a fast pace. Over the past few games, Miami has been able to not only play that faster tempo style, but win while doing it. In the January 10 game, the two combined for 171 points, and this one should be another high-scoring affair. Take over 152.5 points. Central Michigan versus Western Michigan. There may not be many positive stats on Western Michigan to help reinforce backing them on this side, but there are numerous negative numbers this year on CMU that do support fading this Chippewas team on the road. I'm relying more on that support in the hopes that a Western Michigan can cash at the window. Central Michigan has an average margin of victory in road games of minus 13.1 points game, and they own the worst Austrian shillings plus average amount of points a team covers the spread by in conference play of any MAC team at minus 3.7 game. The defensive effort evaporated from this squad seemingly weeks ago, and they've still got an offense that's nearly impossible to trust. Western Michigan may be a team with plenty of holes, but they average 72.3 points per home game this year, and with this being the final home game of the season for them, I do believe you can count on them bringing some concerted effort to try and win one last time on this floor. Take the home team minus 4.5 points. The 70-69 final in the first meeting between these two stayed under the total of 140 by a single point. A first half of 58 total points was met with 81 total points in the second half, and there should be a bit more consistency between the two frames this time around. Yet, I believe the end total result will still end up the same as CMU owns a 5-9 OU record on the road this year, and Western Michigan is 3-6-1 OU at home. Central Michigan is still that team with a brutal offense that's actually been great for underbettors all year long, as the Chippewas are 10-18 OU for the year overall, and 6-11 OU in conference play. WMU's offense is also not anywhere near as dominant as what CMU saw from Toledo last time out when they gave up 99 points, so there is minimal fear in the Broncos being the third straight team to score 80+ on the Chippewas. CMU has also not played to 3 consecutive over results all year long in large part because of their brutal offense, and after 2 consecutive overs leading into this game, I'm content betting against something that hasn't happened all year long for CMU. Take the under 138.5 points. Toledo versus Ball State. It's hard to pick against a team that has won 14 straight games, but Toledo has failed to cover the spread in 2 of its last 3 road games. Those 2 failures came against Bowling Green and Eastern Michigan, which both have a record of 5-12 in MAC play. Now they head to Ball State, which already beat the Rockets once this season and is 12-1 on its home floor. I expect Ball State's ability to rebound the ball and shoot at a high percentage will keep them in this game. The Cardinals did both of those things well on the road when they beat Toledo as an 8.5-point underdog, and I expect them to do the same in their home arena. Despite their win-loss record, the Rockets have not been very good on the glass or on the defensive end of the floor this season. I like Ball State to cover at home. The over-under split for both teams this season makes it difficult to pass on the over. Toledo has a 19-9 split, while Ball State's is 16-11, both in favor of the over. The under has only hit once in Ball State's last 6 games, and the fact that the Cardinals' 3-point defense is one of the worst in the nation gives me a reason to believe there will be a lot of points in this game. Toledo is one of the best outside shooting teams in the nation, which is one reason why the over has hit in 4 of the Rockets' last 5 games. The Rockets don't exactly emphasize defense, though. They're more concerned with running the floor and getting quick shots. They play at the nation's 55th fastest adjusted tempo. Much like their last meeting, there will be plenty of scoring opportunities on Friday. This game should be in the 80s. Our total pick is over 159 points. Murray State vs Drake. Drake, much like top-seeded Bradley, is a team that can make life miserable for opposing teams on the defensive end of the floor. The Bulldogs are excellent defensively as they limited opposing teams to 41.2% shooting in the regular season, which was 46th in the country. Drake is dangerous from the perimeter, and they don't leave points on the floor at the free throw line. Before losing to Bradley in the finale, the Bulldogs' 4 conference losses came by a combined 12 points. Murray State was handled relatively easily in both meetings by Drake this season, losing by 18 points on the road and by 24 points at home. With DeVries and Penn leading the way, Drake is too much for a lesser squad, much less a Racers team playing their second game in as many days, to handle. The Bulldogs advanced to the semifinals with another convincing win. Our team pick is Drake Bulldogs. Murray State rolled past Valparaiso in their first-round matchup as they dimmed the Beacons for the 3rd time this season. The Racers improved to 17-14 on the season with a win, but now try to take down Drake after losing both regular season meetings. Against Valparaiso, Murray State gave up the opening bucket but scored the next 6 points and never trailed again. The Racers led by 13 at the half and didn't let the Beacons get closer than 9 in the second half. Murray State shot 42.6% from the floor, including 10 of 27 from three-point range, and limited Valparaiso to 32.7% shooting in the contest. Jamari Smith led the Racers with 19 points in the victory. Drake had a chance to clinch the MVC title, but couldn't get things done against Bradley in their regular season finale, dropping them to the 2nd seed. The Bulldogs closed the regular season with a 24-7 overall record, and they were 15-5 in the conference on the year. Against Bradley, Drake found themselves down as many as 9 in the opening half, before using an 8-2 run over the final 3:06 to cut the margin to 3 at intermission. The Bulldogs took a 1-point lead with 16:05 to play, before giving up the game-breaking 15-0 run that saw Drake go scoreless for more than 6.5 minutes. That left Drake down 55-41 with 9:41 remaining, and they never got closer than 8 the rest of the way. The Bulldogs shot 38.1% from the floor, including 5 of 21 from three-point range, and were beaten 39-28 on the glass in the game. DJ Wilkins led Drake with 14 points in the loss. Our total pick is under. Eastern Michigan vs Northern Illinois. The Eagles have lost 6 of their last 8 games and 4 straight road games. They usually play well offensively, but they struggled in recent games, scoring less than 70 points per game in their last 3 games. They don't rebound the ball well on the road and won't get a lot of extra scoring chances against the Huskies. They've also been careless with the ball, which will lead to easy scoring opportunities for the Huskies, who average more than 6 steals per game at home. The Huskies aren't great defensively, but they play better at home, holding opponents under 75 points per game. They gave up 67 points on the road to the Eagles in their first game and won't have trouble keeping their offense in check. The Huskies have also struggled in recent games, but they have played better at home. They have played well offensively at home, scoring more than 74 points per game. They do a good job finding the open man, and they're very aggressive on the offensive glass, which will give them more scoring chances. They also cut back on their turnovers in recent games and won't give the Eagles a lot of easy scoring opportunities. The Eagles aren't very good defensively, and they play worse on the road, giving up more than 84 points per game, and will have a hard time slowing down the Huskies in this game. Go with Northern Illinois to cover the spread. At the last meeting, these schools combined to put 155 points on the board, clearing the total on that game by 5 points. Though that was a while back, neither team's trajectory has changed much, and more importantly, neither has their mediocre defenses. Both of these teams have given up 75 or more points in 8 of the 11 games apiece since they last played. On the offensive end, Northern Illinois has scored over 75 points in 6 of those games, while Eastern Michigan was able to muster 75 or more in 5 of their last 11. Both are considering fast-tempo teams, with Eastern Michigan ranking 75th in KenPom's tempo ratings and Northern Illinois checking in at 80th. These two teams like to score when they get together, putting their last 7 games over the total. Per Covers.com, the over is 5-0 in the Eagles' last 5 games versus a losing team and is 4-0 in the Huskies' last 4 versus a losing team. Take the over 151 points. Bowling Green vs Ohio U. Ohio is not the type of team that should be laying double digits as favorites. They have only covered a spread of 10 or more twice in the season, and both teams, Chicago State and Eastern Michigan, were worse than Bowling Green, according to KenPom. Out of Ohio's last 11 games, they have only won by more than 10 twice. Bowling Green has had a rough stretch lately, but they have not been getting blown out. Over their last 10 games, they only lost by more than 10 3 times. Ohio's best player is forward Dwight Wilson III, but Bowling Green has a reliable power forward to match up with him on the block in Rashawn Ag. This is too many points, as Bowling Green will be able to keep this one close. Take Bowling Green plus 10 points on the road. This is a matchup between two teams that like to play fast, with good offenses and bad defenses. This is a perfect recipe for an over. Bowling Green's tempo is ranked 60th in the nation, and Ohio is in the top half of college basketball at 142nd. Bowling Green's defense is near the bottom in the country, ranked only 329th in defensive efficiency. Ohio has the 67th ranked defense and will be able to score at ease on this Falcon defense. Ohio is not impressive on the defensive end either, ranking 262nd in defensive efficiency. Add in the additional excitement of senior night, and Ohio will be playing even faster than usual. The Bobcats have gone over the total in their last 2 games and will continue the trend here. Take the over 157.5 points.